And here we go, people. Time for another Talking Texans. And I'm going to do it while I'm sitting here in this goddamn truck right here. And it ain't shit to talk about. It ain't. It ain't a goddamn thing to talk about. There we go. Yeah, it ain't a motherfucking thing to talk about because I knew what was going to happen. I came in here and started fucking with the battery on the truck and all kind of shit before the game was even over with. I was like, okay, game over. Bo Nix did the one thing that they hadn't been able to do the whole goddamn game. And that was it. That was it. Game was over. He broke out on that scramble. I'm like, bruh, I'm like, at this time of the game, you know what I'm saying? With no time on the clock, and this end game shit, with a quarterback that you know can run the fucking ball, and you let him just run the fuck up the goddamn field like y'all didn't see that. I don't watch the Broncos, but I've seen that. And that was like, I was like, man, and out of all the dumb shit I done seen happen in the goddamn game, as far as Bo Nix, as far as some of them weird ass throws and shit he was doing, and I'm just like, okay, maybe this dude ain't what I thought he was, and I'll be like, nope. He did the one goddamn thing that he wasn't able to do the whole goddamn. You just leave him on the counter for. And I don't give a damn what nobody say. I don't give a damn about none of them stats. Texans don't get home enough on sacks. They just fucking don't. They don't get home enough on sacks. I don't want to hear about pressures and all kind of, no, I don't give a fuck about none of that. They do not get home enough on sacks. And that shit usually happens when I'm watching the game and I'm like, man, they don't never get home on sacks, and then they will get a sack like 2 seconds later. But they do not get home enough on sacks. And when they do, most of the time the sacks don't mean nothing. I'm like, God damn, I don't want to hear nothing about the edges and all this other shit. Them motherfuckers don't get home enough for me. The quarterback is still able to run and throw the ball downfield. Whether he throwing it out of bounds, it don't matter. He ain't on his goddamn ass with the ball in his hand. So none of that shit don't mean nothing to me. You need sacks. They don't get enough sacks. They don't get enough fucking sacks. And they did a good job, in this game. You know what I'm saying? There's only so much you can ask for. And I'm not even going to fault this towards the CJ going down, because that's his fault. Yeah, that's his fault. You want your quarterback to teach that motherfucker how to lean in the tackles and dive his ass down, because sliding gets you exactly where the fuck he is now. That's what sliding gets you. And I don't even mind. I don't even remember what the offense was doing before then, and it wasn't much of nothing. So I can't even say that changed the game much. You put Davis Mills in the goddamn game. Did it really matter? No. Offense wasn't doing nothing before then. You know what I'm saying? Offense wasn't doing shit before then. And I'm sitting up here like, they get down there in the red zone and they can't fucking score the goddamn ball. You know what I'm saying? And then, you got Kaimi missed the first goddamn field goal attempt. I'm just like, here we go. Here we go with this shit. And it was like he missed the first one, and then the next two that he actually hit, he was trying to miss those too. I was like, God damn, what the fuck? He motherfucker kicked the ball way over here, damn near hit the goalpost, and on the next one, he kicked the ball way over there, damn near hit the goalpost. I'm like, shit, son. You wear the wrong shoes today? What's really going on? And they can't get the ball in the fucking end zone because they don't have a fucking running game. It amazes me how the Texans offense can manage to move the ball up the goddamn field. They can move the ball up and down the goddamn field and hold the ball for majority of the goddamn game, but can't get in the goddamn end zone when they get into the goddamn red zone. Especially when they get inside the 5 or the 10. They get down there. Penalty. I'm just, and then, as a matter of fact, I think that the penalty, the first one they got, where they got the false start on Ursery, I think they got the ball into the end zone on that play. I think they did. But they ended up having to kick the field goal. I had no, once I saw the game was just gonna be close, I didn't even have even early on. I'm like, once Denver tied the game up, I'm like, they not gonna win this game. They're not gonna win this. They don't know how the coaching staff does. They don't know how to hold that. You could tell by how the offense was operating. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, man, at a certain point I was like, man, Texans actually got it pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Because if somebody goes down, they don't have to change up their game plan. They don't, you know what I'm saying? They don't have to change up their game plan. One of their receivers go down, you could put another receiver in there and you don't lose no ground at all, including Nico, and you don't lose no ground. You can keep your game plan just how you had it. Even with CJ going down, the type of quarterback that CJ is and the type of quarterback that Davis Mills is, you don't have to change your game plan. You can keep the same, you can keep going, business as usual. I don't think they did that. I don't think they did that. I think once CJ went down, Davis Mills came in, and then they started overthinking shit. You start overthinking shit. No, call the same goddamn plays you would have if CJ was still in the goddamn game. It's not like you the fucking Baltimore Ravens. Excuse me. And Lamar Jackson go down, and then you have to put, Cooper Rush in there. Well, obviously, your game plan changed. The Texans don't have to worry about that. You should be able, now I'm saying should, because I know they not. You should be able to just run everything as usual. You should be able to. Are they doing that? I seriously doubt it. I can't see if they is or they ain't. But I don't think so. What I do know is the Texans ain't gonna never have no goddamn running game. They still do the same goddamn shit. Now, I seen them try to pass the ball out to Jumbo. I ain't gonna say it's the first time they done did it, but it's the first time I done saw them do it. You know what I'm saying? They go out there in that Jumbo, they for to run the ball. You know what I'm saying? You go out there in that Jumbo, they for to run the ball. And then when they do run the ball, like when they was getting ready to run the ball down on the goal line, and they gave the ball to the fullback twice. They gave the ball to the halfback once, gave it to the fullback twice. And I'm sitting there thinking, once I actually seen them line up for the play, I'm like, why are the running back and the fullback so close to the line? And that irritates me. It really does. I ain't saying you got their fullback and they need to be 15 yards back. I'm like, Why are they so close to the line? You give your ball to the, especially the way you know your offensive line is. The way you know your offensive line is, you finna send your fullback into that shit flat-footed. At the depth you got your goddamn tailback, you basically sending him into that scrum flat-footed. The same way all your running plays are. The Texans don't, if they ain't running out their goddamn jumbo eye where everybody knows they finna run the ball. Everybody knows you finna run the ball. You've been doing that shit for, I forget how many goddamn weeks they've been doing that shit since they started bringing in, I'm finna say Fisher Blake. Blake Fisher as the extra offensive lineman. They know you're gonna run the ball. I have not seen any, just extraordinary results from that shit. I haven't. I haven't. You bring in the extra offensive lineman and you run the dude right up the goddamn middle of the line. Well, you know what? You didn't have to do that. You didn't. That extra motherfucker on the end over there, he don't have shit to do with over here where you running the goddamn ball, because everybody is bunched up right here. Because you brought that jumbo ass lineup out there and everybody know you finna run the goddamn ball. And you get fucking 2 yards or some bullshit. You just, and when they don't, they still, all they do is run that fucking stupid ass draw play. Stupid draw play, draw play, draw play, draw play. The running plays have no imagination to them at the fuck all. At all. The same, just. And what you do, you send your running back into that bullshit ass offensive line you got flat-footed. Po Nick Chubb got to squeeze out 3-4 yards by himself. I ain't never, I shit you not even Earl Campbell. I ain't never seen nobody running for 2 or 3 yards with that many motherfuckers on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, if I was Nick Chubb and the Texans wanted to sign into another 1-year deal or some shit, I'd be like, fuck no. Y'all running that same offense? Fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Because that is goddamn ridiculous. Even with Woody Marks back there, give him the ball. Do you expect something different? He ain't Barry Sanders. Do you know what I'm saying? He not Barry Sanders. He get the same shit Nick Chubb get. You give him the ball back there flat-footed. And then nothing. I don't know, man. And I am not deaf on the fact of that they played another defense that's just as supposedly just as good as theirs. And that was kind of obvious throughout the whole game. But I didn't see that through the whole game. You know what I'm saying? You used to look and see the defense. Oh man, goddamn, just like it ain't like it was when they was playing Seattle. That shit was just all I see is what the Texans ain't doing. You know, it's some plays out there and I'm just like, well, you know, you can't do nothing but shrug your shoulders. You know, that's a top defense you're playing, so okay, I wouldn't expect some shit like that to slide through or something. But most of the shit I'm looking at don't even fall on the players. I'm like, some of the play calling, I'm just like, man, just what are you doing? You know, I'm like when you get to the 3rd and short and shit like that, I'm like, and you calling plays, I'm like, man, can you call plays and tell motherfuckers, look, it's a 1st down play. We need you to get past the goddamn markers. Running a route over here in the backfield, no. Unless that's a designed route, you know what I'm saying? you know, like a release from the running back or some shit like that. Get to the goddamn marker. You know what I'm saying? Get to the goddamn marker, please. It's just, and I don't have unrealistic expectations. I really don't. I don't see nothing wrong with our personnel other than the offensive line. And I didn't even realize that most of our offensive line wasn't even out there. I didn't. I can't see all that shit going on down there. It wasn't until the announcers was like, yeah, Ingram is out, and I didn't even see. I'm sitting there watching the game, and I didn't even notice that Titus Howard went out. It must have been one of the things where he got booped and was able to just ease off the field, and then they had to deal with him on the sideline or some shit. But I was like, yeah, he got some boom, and then they had Fisher out there. I was like, God damn, our whole right side of the goddamn offensive line is gone. Just, I was like, God damn. I didn't even notice that. I was just like, I mean, what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? You put your backups out there and hope they can hold it. What's his name went out, and Titus Howard gonna probably be out. If he went out for a concussion, excuse me, if he went out for a concussion, that's almost a game missed right there. Like CJ went out for a concussion. Same shit that happened not last year, but year before against the Jets. He fell down and hit the back of his head on the turn. Look, y'all need to start giving these motherfuckers some neck workouts to do. Now, CJ shit is different. What happened to Nico, that's a whole nother thing. He just fell back and hit his damn head. I'm like, bro, you fell down by yourself and hit your head. Come on. You know, I'm like, come on, man. Helmets ain't all that goddamn heavy, and you've been playing football your whole life. Your neck is supposed to be your neck is supposed to be a little bit stronger than that. CJ on the hand, at least this time, yeah, I'm like, yeah, that was. He got knocked into the ground, so yeah. Neck or no neck, yeah. Bap. When you get bap like that, yeah. And there wasn't no doubt about that. He went like, fuck that ball. He just laid there like, man, shit. I was like, well, that's it for CJ. We get ready to see some Davis Mills. And I don't even know who they play next, but it don't even matter at this point. You know what I'm saying? It don't. Because the offense is not going to be able to do what it needs to do. It's not. It's not going to be able to do what it needs to do. Unless another team shows up and everybody is crippled. The Texas offense looks like shit. It does. It looks like shit. And they was, like I say, they able to move the ball around. They able to move the ball up and down the goddamn field. But it's once you get inside the 20, I don't know what happened with the Texans once they get the ball inside the 20. Everything just I don't know. I don't get that. You able to move the ball 50, 60 yards. You know what I'm saying? Methodically move the ball 50, 60 yards up the field. And then you get to this last little bit right here. The last itty bitty bit of the little bitty bit. You're on a 1 yard line and you cannot manage to get the ball in there. You can't quarterback sneak it in. You can't run it in. You know, you can't do nothing. It's actually amazing. You know what I'm saying? It is. It's actually amazing. I'm just like, what the fuck is this shit? This is some dumbfounding shit. How the fuck you can't get the ball in from right there? Right there. You on the goal line, motherfucker. I don't know. Is it like right now? I am seriously contemplating downgrading my Hulu back to the regular shit. Take that live TV off. You know, take the live TV off because I'm not. You know, I'm only on that shit. You know, to watch the Texans. You know what I'm saying? Like for real. That's it. I hop on there. It's a football game. I'll probably watch a little bit of football, but not much. But that's pretty much it, man. It is. That's pretty much it. I watch the fucking Texans. You know, I don't have any interest in watching any other fucking football teams unless I can't think of much. I don't like watching football teams where I don't have no familiarity with the players that's on the team. Because all I do is go for whoever got the goddamn ball. Now, sometimes, depending on how the season is going, towards the end of the season, that's when you know, like, if I watch football now, I'm going to go in and I'm going to see which games they got playing. If it's NFC games and two NFC teams playing, I'm not going to watch it. You know? Now, if it's a AFC team playing, I might watch it. And if it's an NFC like the Cardinals, more likely I ain't gonna see the Cardinals. But that's who they hadn't played in the NFC West. I would watch that game because the Texans got them coming up on the schedule at some point. If the Jaguars, you know, a divisional team is on the happen to be showing them playing somebody, I'll watch that because it's a divisional team. I like to see what the other teams might, you know, be doing. Anybody else? You know, if they not on the Texans schedule, I probably ain't gonna watch it. I probably won't. What was that? Thursday night football, I think it was. Baltimore and somebody, I don't even remember who. I turned that game on and immediately went to sleep. Like legit, I turned that game on and went straight to fucking sleep. When I woke up, it was some totally different programming on. It was like 12 o'clock. Game had been over for some hours, goddammit. I woke up, it was some old bullshit playing on Amazon. What the fuck is this shit? Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's getting frustrating because Texas should have won this game if they'd have done what they were supposed to do. You score that one touchdown, game over. You hit the first field goal attempt, game over. You know, you don't let the quarterback run up the goddamn field without no kind of spy or nothing. You know what I'm saying? None of that. The other teams don't do us like that. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the game, when we gotta bust loose, we can't run that goddamn offense where you just, you know, dink and dunk a motherfucker up the field. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the game, when you ain't done it the whole goddamn game. You ain't done that the whole game. But just because it's under a minute left, motherfucker is able to just dink and dunk you all the way up and up. Yeah. Not with the Texans. No. We get sacked or throw the ball out of goddamn bounds. Because our offense doesn't, I don't even know the right goddamn word to use. All right, I think I done burnt enough gas. Our offense is it's one-sided. You know what I'm saying? There's not enough run game there to keep people from playing the passing lanes. It's not, because the Texans are obvious when they're going to run. And when they do run, when they out their pistol or shotgun thing, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, it's just handing the ball to your running back flat-footed. That's, that doesn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? Your running back's not popping off 0 to 100 in less than a second. You know what I'm saying? I got faith in our running backs. I don't think we have a running back problem, but we have a running game problem because our offensive line is dookie. It is. Our offensive line is dookie. I guess that's why they run them stupid ass draw plays. They're like, we can't run nothing else anyway, so we're just gonna run this shit. The Texans are one of those teams that run the ball just because they have to run the ball. Like, for real. They run the ball because they have to run the ball. Because the percentages say they have to run the ball and some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? What do people typically do on first down? And the Texans don't typically run the ball on first down. It's not a typical thing they do, but when they do, when they run the ball, it don't seem like it's for a purpose. It just don't. It's just like, okay, this is a down and distance that somebody would usually run the ball, so we just gonna run a running play. And then we gonna go back to, because there's times where I'm just like, you should have just ran a passing play. You know what I'm saying? You should have just ran a passing play. Wasn't no use of running a running play there, because like I say, we got one good run today that I saw, and that got called back from holding. The 11-yard run or some shit like that from Nick Chubb. Nope, that got called back. That didn't count. No, that got called back. Holding on the receiver for that matter. Receiver, that was Xavier Hutchinson. He had 2 holding calls today. Just like, one of them was a holding. I think he was in bad position on both of those plays. He got called for holding. I'm just, I don't know, man. So, only thing I can do is see what they gonna do next week. Season ain't over with, but I got to see what they gonna do next week and see how well they adapt to whatever the hell they got going on. I'm almost 100% sure that CJ Stroud is gonna be out at least 1 week. So I was going to say CJ Mills. Davis Mills will be receiving, he gonna get to practice this week. He ain't gonna get just thrown in the game against the #1 defense in the league. So you also have to take that into account. I don't take into a total account, but I do take that into account. I'm not a football dummy. So, yeah, you throw your backup quarterback who ain't been doing shit all year, and his first bit of action is against the best defense in the league. Yeah. Okay. And then on top of that, you got to also throw in that offensive coordinator ain't calling the best game. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he was putting Davis Mills in the position to succeed. I don't think he was putting him in the best position to succeed. I think he was just. I think they was probably going into game manager mode or some shit like that. I'm like, no, man. But he threw the ball up the field. It wasn't like he didn't throw the ball up the field any, but like I said, and when he did throw the ball up the goddamn field, it's just like they going against the #1 defense. That you would expect for that play to be defended. Oh, well, so there's that. And from the state of the Texans right now, you can't expect for anything to get better, because nothing is going to get better until we get a overhaul on that front line. Like, I don't know what they gonna have to do. I really don't. I don't know what they gonna have to do. But they need to do an overhaul on that front line. They can't be rotating the goddamn left guard in and out. You know what I'm saying? I think your right guard been doing a pretty decent job. I think your fucking your right tackle, Titus Howard, I think he's been doing a decent job. Are they all playing on all pro levels? No, but I think they've been doing a decent job. Now your center and your left guard, suspect. Your right tackle is suspect, but he's a rookie. But I'm only willing to forgive that for so goddamn long. Because, okay, he's a goddamn rookie. He didn't just start playing football this year. He's a left tackle. He's playing left tackle. He's been playing that position for some years now. You know what I'm saying? At this point, you need to be acclimated into the offense. You need to know what techniques they want you to play. You need to know the vernacular for the play calling. And okay, you're left tackle. We drafted you as a left tackle. You are playing left tackle. We don't have you playing fucking tight end or some shit. You know, it ain't like they flipped them on the other side of the ball and got them playing fucking defensive tackle or some shit. No, left tackle. So all the bullshit aside, he should be doing okay. You know what I'm saying? There's certain shit you can't do nothing about. If he end up like Josh Allen, you know, made him look bad that one goddamn Sunday, which, well, you know, if that had happened against a regular ass motherfucker, that's different. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, bro, he makes everybody look like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, he make everybody look like that. So you give him a little bit of a pass on that. But, you know, I haven't heard his name a whole lot the last few weeks. So you can't say that. You can't say that. The first couple of weeks with Ursery, man, you know, because you gonna hear his name in a penalty or some shit like that every so often. That's just NFL. It is. That's just NFL. When you out there playing football, you finna get called for something at some point. Whether you did it or not. You know what I'm saying? Whether you did it or not, you finna get called for something. You know, a lot of times it's at the as an offensive lineman or some shit like that, you get called at the most inopportune time for some shit you've been doing the whole goddamn game. Just so now they want to call this shit. Like, really, bruh? I had my hand up this dude ass the whole goddamn game. Now you want to call it? Yeah, so give him a pass on that. But when they show the Texans get disrupted, you know, in a offense, whether it's pass or run play, it's always up the middle of the goddamn line. It's always right up the fucking middle. I'm like, bruh. You know, they showed a play today with motherfuckers right up. I'm like, it's two of y'all right there, man. It's two of y'all right there. The motherfucker went right there between the guard and the left guard and the center. Like, ain't neither one of y'all can get that dude. I mean, he went right. The fuck y'all? And I don't get it. It was a pass play too, so I'm just like, okay. If a dude comes at you, you fucking block him. Like, for real. Now I can see how some stuff would confuse you because they had one of them things where it was a bunch of motherfuckers at the line of scrimmage and the linebackers and shit bailed out at the snap. And the lineman went whoop. And I'm just like, wasn't nobody else there? Didn't neither one of y'all think to put your hands on that motherfucker? That's right there. It's one motherfucker between two of y'all. You know, you got your offensive lineman sitting there getting split by one goddamn dude because one motherfucker decided, hey, I'm just going to look this way. I'm going to look this way. Whatever going on over there, fuck it. And the other motherfucker said, I'm just going to look over here. Whatever going on over there, fuck it. And it's a motherfucker right between them just went bloop, right? It's just like, bruh. You know, just, I say this shit all the goddamn time. I'm told that you always keep your head on the goddamn swivel. Now, it wasn't for that reason, but that I think that pays off on the offensive line too. You always keep your head on the swivel because you don't want to get knocked on your motherfucking ass. But as an offensive lineman, especially when you got people running stunts and shit like that, I'm thinking that, I got one goddamn eye that works. I can do like, you know what I'm saying? Only thing I got to do is this right here. Out of one eye, I can see over here. Y'all can't see where my hand is. And I can see over, well, it's a window right here. Looking straight ahead. I can see all this area in front of me with one goddamn eyeball. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers got two working eyes out here. And they can't see shit going on right there in fucking front of them. Can I have your other eye, please, since you're not going to use it? Can I? Please? Please let me have your other eye if you're not going to use that motherfucker. Shit. That irritates me when I see stuff. I'm like, you didn't see that big ass motherfucker. Ain't nobody else right there. I don't care if the linebackers back off in the coverage. At that point, they not your fucking responsibility. That one big giant 300-pound motherfucker sitting right there in front of you. You don't see that. And then you got your, they got Andrews in there at center. He's supposed to be the bigger and the stronger of the two people we had playing center. So that's why he out there. That motherfucker always on skates, as far as I can tell. I thought he's supposed to be the one, that was able to, push the power forward. Nah, motherfuckers be knocking this motherfucker all over the goddamn place. So yeah, I can see. I don't know, but the offensive line is gonna look a whole lot different next year. Again, it's gonna look a whole lot different next year. And at this point, the only motherfucker that might be on it is Ursery. You know what I'm saying? The only motherfucker that might be on the offensive line is Ursery. Maybe Titus Howard. I don't know what his contract look like. I don't know if he's gonna be trade bait or not. But I can see everybody else. Ingram might be there because there hadn't been no red flags with him up until this point. But that center and that left guard spot, for sure. For sure. It just that whole position just might be out of there. That whole position just might be out of there, like, seriously. Because they gonna have to do something, because they can't run their offense without a stable offensive line. And they don't have a stable offensive line. And they don't have a running game because they don't have a stable offensive line. You got running backs back there that are capable of doing whatever the fuck you ask them to do. Whether it's in the passing game, you know what I'm saying, the run game, all of that. You got motherfuckers back there that's able to do that, but they can't do their job because the offensive line is trash. It's trash. You know what I'm saying? It's a reason why they run that jumbo set out there all the goddamn time. I know other teams do that shit, but not as much as the Texans do. You know what I'm saying? And I don't see nothing wrong with it. Tell you the truth, I really don't. I don't see nothing wrong with it. The fuck. But you got to do more out of it. You really the fuck do. Because if you gonna run that jumbo shit, you got to be able. It's just like when I played Madden back in the day. I think Madden's supposed to be might be coming on Game Pass on Xbox, so I might start playing it again. I wasn't gonna never buy the game again, but if it come on Game Pass, I'll get it. But I'm one of those people, and this is video game football. This ain't real life football. I will run the same formations out there. I run the same formations, but I will run all the different plays that I want to do out of that same formation, just so I'm not giving away at least that part of my fucking my game plan. Well, motherfuckers are trying to anticipate what you're doing by looking at your formations and shit like that. You know what? I just run the same formation all the goddamn time. I can run out of it. I can pass out of it. Do whatever the fuck I want out this one goddamn formation. Well, if you can, in theory, you should be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? But it don't work because the Texans, they get in that formation and all they do is run out of it. All they do is run out of it. Like I said, I've only noticed them do a play action out of that formation once. And I'm trying to remember when that was in the game, because I'm like, okay, did they was that part of the script? Because I was thinking about that earlier in the game when I was questioning some of the play calls. So I was saying, okay, I gotta wait after the first series or after the first couple of series before I start, going off on the play calling, because motherfuckers be scripting plays. They run certain plays just to see how the defense is gonna react to shit, and then after that they start calling shit. So I'm sitting there, okay, bloop, 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 bloop. And I don't know how far. I don't even know how far it was into the game where I think it was the second quarter where CJ got hurt, and then after that it was just like, I kind of just threw my hands up like whatever. Texans might be able to keep doing what they do. It looked like they was going to. It really did. It looked like they was going to, but the further the game went along, the worse the offense got. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, okay, now we can't move, we can't do nothing with the ball now. We can't do nothing with the ball now. And I wasn't seeing too much wrong with the execution of the plays that were calling, but some of the plays that were called, I was kind of off on, but I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm not calling plays. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it ain't no guarantee that anything that I would have called would have worked, but I wouldn't have called that jet sweep. I wouldn't have. That shit don't seem to work that well when the Texans do it. Other teams do it, and it worked just fine. Not against the Texans, though, but I watch other football games, and I watch other people do it, and I'm like, okay, in theory that works, but nah. When the Texans run it, oh, fuck no. And we got the personnel to be able to pull that shit off. Because, was that last year? Last year, they, Bobby Sloak was out there, and there was a couple of them jet sweeps. They run with with one of those receivers or some shit back there. And I'm just like, we don't have the personnel for that, man. Like, we don't have the personnel. Why is you calling that? We don't have the personnel for that shit. Well, I mean, this year we do. We got the personnel for it. But still, shit don't work. You know what I'm saying? The shit don't work because our offensive line can't keep people from back there. And people read that shit like it ain't nothing. Because they read that shit and they run a jet sweep and they standing over there already waiting on the goddamn ball carrier to get over there on that end. Yeah, we knew you was for to run that jet sweep. We just gonna sit over here and wait for him to get over here, tackle him for a 2-yard loss, you know, whatever. I can't even, and you know, and when that shit happened, I'm just like, because I watch our defense do that to folks all the time. They be trying to run screens. They try to run those jet sweeps and those, whatever them little out routes. They be, them quick outs they be throwing out to the running back. Oh, that's nailing their ass for like 5-6 yards in the backfield. So I'm like, well, that's what happened when the Texans try to run that shit. You know what I'm saying? I said that's what happened when the Texans try to run that shit. I mean, that shit worked last week when y'all tried to run it. It'll run next week when you try to run it. But against this Texans defense, yeah, more likely you finna get hit behind the line of scrimmage if you run that sideways shit. And that's what pisses me off with the Texans offenses. Sometimes it's too sideways. It's too sideways. We got 2 big receivers. We tend to only use one. You know what I'm saying? We got 2 big receivers. We tend to only use one. We don't use Nico Collins as a 50-50 ball man. We don't use him as a 50-50 ball man. We got Jaden Higgins. We don't use him as a 50-50 ball man. Well, once they did. Maybe twice. I know one time he got the ball taken away from him. The first time they tried to do it. I think he caught another 50-50 ball later on. But it's not something they do. You know what I'm saying? It's not a lot of downfield shots that they take. And you don't want to do the shit too much. But I don't think they do it enough. And other teams know that. You know what I'm saying? Other teams know that. See them big receivers going up, big 6'3", big body receivers go out there, run the ball up the field. You know, they going across the field or they going to the side. Or they put a head up the sidelines for, you know, a jump ball or some shit like that. Nah, more likely not. More likely not. They just go, you know, end up throwing the ball out of bounds because by the time that route matures, the quarterback is in the backfield doing some freaky shit trying to get away from getting molested by the other team's goddamn defense. So even if motherfuckers did have a play downfield, it's gone now. You know what I'm saying? It's gone now. You gotta hold back your expectations, man. That's all it is. You just gotta look at this season as a stepping block season. You know what I'm saying? It's a stepping block season. It might not seem because you made the playoffs last year and you won the fucking playoff game and blah, blah, blah. You have to still look at this as a stepping season. Like, okay, boom. We got some shit done. If you can manage to keep your defense together, that should be good. The people on the offense, everybody should be here next year, except for a bunch of the folks on the offensive line. That's all you got to change. Like literally, unless some people just decide they want to go. You have to deal with that. But, you know, but that offensive line, that's it. That's it. You shouldn't have to change a whole lot other than that. With the personnel you have right the fuck now. I know that shit. I know, it's musical chairs and shit like that from season to season. But with if you can manage to get some good offensive linemen in here, and then you have to look toward that. You can't look towards the best all the time, but you can look towards good. You can look towards good and not just passable. No motherfuckers that just say, okay, I can come and play for a year and no. At that point, I'd rather you draft a fucking rookie and stick him there. For real, I'd rather you draft a fucking rookie and stick him at a position than grab a 1 year motherfucker and stick him there. Because that's what we had this year. One motherfucker's not even on the team. He didn't even get to fucking play. And then you got the Tomlinson. He in and out because you rotating him with another motherfucker. It's just, he not even good enough to stay on the fucking field. So, then you did bring in Ed Ingram, who probably had the lowest of expectations, but is the person that you hear the least about on the offensive line. Like, literally, that's the person you hear the least from. And when you don't hear offensive lineman's name, that's a good goddamn thing. Until they can get that fixed, all the games are going to be toss-ups. All the games are going to be toss-ups. Do the Texans win the game today if C.J. Stroud don't get hurt? I think so. I don't have nothing against Davis Mills, but that's a big continuity hit. It is. It's a big continuity hit having your second string quarterback come in. Even though he didn't come in and tear up the game. Well, that sounds weird. Yeah. He didn't come in and fuck up the game. You know what I'm saying? But I do think the continuity of the offense took a step back because I think the coaching it's a whole different person out there, and the way they process and execute shit is gonna be different. You know what I'm saying? So you take all that shit into account. If CJ don't get hurt, I think the Texans win. And that's nothing against DJ Mills. I'm about to call this man everything but the son of God. Davis Mills, who the fuck is DJ Mills? There's probably somebody out there named DJ Mills too. But anyway, yeah, I don't think he came in and fucked up the game and no shit like that. But yeah, like I said, the continuity, it's a disruption. Your backup come in there, it's a disruption. I think the play calling had more to do with it than the actual personnel part of it. But it is what it is. Because he came in and made a play upfield. So he came in and made a play upfield. Yeah. But ain't shit else to say. Like I said, I don't know what the last part of the game looked like because I stopped watching. As soon as Bo Nix broke off on that thing, I came outside because I knew I was going to shoot this video in the truck. And I was charging my battery on the truck and get all my little stuff running here so I can start my truck up and get the juices flowing. And just not even look at it because I knew what was going to happen. That's all the goddamn announcers was talking about. He hit a field goal from 6-3 in warm-ups, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, oh, shit, here we go. This motherfucker hitting 63-yard field goals in warm-ups and shit like that. And the Texans get the ball. The Texans get the goddamn ball with under 2 minutes left and can't run no time off the clock. 3 and out. Just, bruh. Simple shit. Can't even drain the goddamn clock. And I think if it would have went into overtime, I would have did the same thing. I would have been like, you know what? I'm not watching this shit. Because I don't trust the Texans offense to pull through. You know, I don't have faith in the Texans offense to pull through in those situations like that. Even if CJ Stroud was out there. You know what I'm saying? If they was in the same position they was in and CJ was out there, I wouldn't have no more faith. So even though it was Davis Mills out there, and at that point they had already showed they couldn't move the ball anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's like 3 and out. Bam. Defense hold. Punt. Get the ball back. 3 and out. I'm like, those are your opportunities right there. Those are your opportunities right there. You can't manage to get a fucking first down. A first down. You can't manage to do it. I knew it was going to happen, so I just didn't bother watching. And I come out here and I sat down, looked at the phone, final score, 18-15. I would have loved to have come out here and seen some weird shit on my phone. This happened before. I can't remember when, but I do know how I thought the Texans was gonna get their ass whooping. I was like, you know what? I'm not fucking with this shit. And the Texans did some stupid shit and fuck around and won the game. So I know stuff can happen. I really do. I know stuff can happen, but I was trying not to just piss myself off. You know what I'm saying? By actually watching it. I didn't want to piss myself off by watching it, so I did watch it. And I was like, well, Texans lost this game. You know, Texans lost. They lose. What next? Who they play next? Jacksonville? It's not Jacksonville. Titans ain't till later. Might be Jacksonville. I think they beat Jacksonville. I do. I really do. I think they beat Jacksonville. I hope, you know, if that's who, I'm have to look at the schedule and see though. But, you know, if that's who they got next, I think they can beat Jacksonville. Because the offense has better continuity than it did at the beginning of the season. Put it like that. They couldn't score no touchdowns today, which is fucking, wait a minute, did they? 15. It's five. They scored 5 field goals. It's a lot of field goals. All they did was score 5 field goals. That's a damn shame taking it. I sit here and watch that goddamn game. That seems like a lot of goddamn field goals. It does. It seems like a whole lot of goddamn field goals, but I guess, yeah. Because I don't remember them scoring no goddamn touchdown. And that's the main point, is that you got to put the ball in the fucking end zone. You do. You got to kick. You know, if you think about how many times that the Denver Broncos was on our end of the field, and you think about how many times the Texans were on the defensive side, how you lose that game? With no turnovers. Texans did not turn the ball over. Broncos did. That's usually the turning point in the game right there. You know, that shows you right there. That's the importance of scoring fucking touchdowns and not fucking field goals. You know, just, because technically, they outplayed the Denver Broncos. They outplayed them. The difference was that the Denver Broncos actually scored a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? If they would have been able to hold the Denver Broncos to a field goal attempt on that drive, they win the game. You know, they win the game. And it also falls back on this. How many times this shit falls on the defense to play a perfect game, man? You know what I'm saying? The defense played well enough for them to fucking win. The offense didn't play well enough to win. The defense played well enough to win, which is the case for the most part all this season. Except for maybe one game. Maybe. The offense played well enough to win? No. No. You can't put the ball in the end zone. You didn't play well enough to win. And that's the truth, even if you have won the game doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? They got to be able to put the ball in the fucking end zone. I don't know what it is Nick Caley got to do. I don't know. Maybe Nick Caley. I don't know what coaching staffs do. I don't know what they do. I think that they need to spend more time watching football like the rest of us. But I know they're busy on Sundays and all this other shit and blah, blah, blah. I think, you know, whatever. You got your little phone. You play a little game, your game over with. You doing all kind of shit to whatever the post-game regimen is. You know what I'm saying? You might be on the road. You got to do all this shit, get ready to fly back home and all this stuff. Probably don't have time to watch no goddamn football game. But I'm thinking them motherfuckers need to be watching more football games. You need to see what motherfuckers is doing. Other than whatever film you watching or whatever. You need to see what, especially if your team is like the Texans offense. You need to look and see what the fuck is working around the league. For real. You need to be looking and seeing what's working around the league. Because the shit you doing ain't working. There's all kind of people out here that's doing shit that's working. You, Mr. Offensive Coordinator, man, whatever you doing, it ain't working. And shit pisses me off. I see them motherfuckers walking around. They walking around, they got the little paper. They be, you know, little headphones. What the fuck are you looking at? Ain't nothing changing on that shit. It ain't a pad. So what the fuck are you looking at? It's the same shit that's on there. If whatever you looking at on that paper, on that sheet, whatever the fuck, ain't working, you keep looking at it, ain't gonna make it fucking work. You need another paper. You need a whole goddamn stack. You should have a whole goddamn book over there just turning pages like, because that one sheet you walking around with, you know, it just, the fuck out of here. Whatever you got printed out over there ain't working. It ain't working. Stop looking at it. No, at that point, you might as well just be pulling shit out your ass and calling it. It'll probably work better. You know what I'm saying? It'll probably work better. You be like, any, many, mighty, throw the shit over there. See how that turn out. That does irritate me. It probably shouldn't, but it does irritate me watching them motherfuckers look at their goddamn paper. They keep looking at their goddamn paper. I don't know, what the fuck are you looking at, man? You've been looking at that paper the whole game and it ain't been working for you. You need new paper. You need a new paper. You need to take that one, cut it up, throw it in the fucking garbage, get you a new one. Get you a fucking new one. Anyway, nothing else to talk about, people. Nothing else to talk about. So what I'm finna do, I'm finna finish taking in my extension cord and battery charger in the house. Shut the hood on this truck. Go in the house. Probably look at the last second half or whatever the late afternoon games are and chill the fuck out. That's it. I'm gonna catch y'all on the flip side.